Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about something that is about to completely change how we work together. I'm talking about a mix of tech that's going to rewire collaboration as we know it. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You're in a remote meeting, trying to tackle something big, but it just feels off. Like you're all shouting through a tiny keyhole, and most of the real meaning just gets lost along the way. Well, guess what? You're not just imagining it.
See, the problem isn't you. It's not your team's fault. The problem is the tools we're using. We're basically trying to do this really complex, three-dimensional work with these flat, two-dimensional tools. And yeah, that creates a ton of friction.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Video calls, Slack, Teams, they are awesome for certain things, no doubt. But the minute the work gets complicated, they just compress all the real human stuff, all that nuance, into this little pixelated box. They literally flatten our conversations.
So what exactly gets lost when everything gets flattened? Pretty much everything that's not words. You know, that little nod that says I get it, or that quick look between two people that means we're on the same page. Even just the basic sense of where everyone is in a room. These are the crucial cues, the things that actually build trust and make communication work.
So why does this happen? Well, there's actually a really smart academic idea that explains this whole thing perfectly. It's called media richness theory, and honestly, once you get it, you'll never look at your collaboration tools the same way again.
Okay, so at its heart, the theory is super simple. It basically says this: the more complex or, ambiguous a task is, the richer your communication tool needs to be. And a rich tool? That's just one that can handle a lot of different cues, lets you give and get feedback really fast, and just feels more personal.
So this theory kind of lays everything out on a spectrum. On one end, you've got what we call lean media. Think email or a quick text. Perfect for just firing off simple facts, but absolutely terrible for nuance. And on the other end, you have the richest medium of all, just being face-to-face. It's packed with cues, feedback is instant, it's the gold standard. And this quote just nails it, right? Trying to solve a complex problem over email is like trying to assemble an engine with only text messages. You would never, ever do that. It's absurd. But that's pretty much what we're doing every day when we try to solve big, messy problems over group chat. We're just using the wrong tool for a super important job.
Okay, so this is where things get really cool. If our flat 2D tools are just too lean for the tough stuff, what's the fix? How do we bring that richness back when we can't all be in the same room? Well, the answer is something called extended reality.
XR, or extended reality. That's just a big umbrella term for things like virtual and augmented reality. And here's the game changer. Instead of just looking at a flat screen, XR puts you and your whole team inside a shared 3D space. When you think about that media richness spectrum, this is a gigantic leap forward. It gets us so much closer to that face-to-face gold standard.
So how does it actually do that? How does XR get so rich? Well, for starters, you have these embodied avatars that can actually mirror your expressions. It uses spatial audio so you hear your colleague's voice coming from where they are in the virtual room. Super important. It tracks your hand gestures, where you're looking, all those nonverbal cues we lost. And, maybe most importantly, it lets everyone grab and interact with the same 3D models, the same data, all at the same time. And when you add all those things up, you get something really powerful, something deeply human, this psychological sense of co-presence. It's that gut feeling that you are truly there, together, sharing a space and working on the same thing. That is the secret sauce for real teamwork and for getting that complex, creative work done when you're apart.
But wait, the story doesn't end there. There's another layer to this that takes it from great to absolutely incredible, and that layer is artificial intelligence. Just think about it like this. XR builds the room. It's the high-bandwidth, super-rich collaborative space. And then AI acts as this brilliant co-pilot inside that room, available to everybody at the same time. It's not some separate app you have to open. It's right there with you, a co-pilot for the team's brain. So picture this. You're all in this virtual space, gathered around a 3D model of a new product. With an AI co-pilot, you could instantly pull up performance data on that model, or run a stress analysis right there, in front of everyone. You could even ask it to generate 10 new design ideas on the spot. It takes that already rich XR environment and just injects it with on-demand intelligence. It makes the team smarter, faster, and way more creative.
Okay, so this combo of XR and AI is obviously super powerful. But how do we actually use it? I mean, you don't need a full-on immersive meeting for a simple update, right? So for that, we can turn to one more little theory that gives us a really simple, practical playbook.
It's called media synchronicity theory, and it just helps us get a bit more specific. It basically says that all the communication we do in a team can be boiled down to two fundamental jobs. And if you know which job you're trying to do, you'll know exactly what kind of tool to reach for.
Okay, so job number one is what's called conveyance. This is just about getting information from point A to point B. Think sending a status update. Simple. But job number two, the much harder one, is convergence. This is where the team has to really wrestle with something complex and arrive at a shared understanding.
And this right here is your practical cheat sheet. For those conveyance tasks, just sending info, stick with your lean, asynchronous tools like email or chat. They're super efficient for that. But for the convergence tasks, the really tough stuff, like brainstorming a new strategy or negotiating a project trade-off, you absolutely need rich, synchronous media. That means XR, or if you can, a face-to-face meeting.
So, this really brings it all back to one crucial question for you and your team. Are you still trying to assemble an engine with text messages? Or are you ready to start deliberately choosing the right tools to match the real complexity of your work? Because honestly, the future of your team's best ideas might just depend on it.